Mr. Chairman, I move that the board certify by a recorded roll call vote that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was conveyed and heard, discussed, and considered in the closed meeting just concluded.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now do a roll call to certify. Mr. Lawson, do you certify?
I certify.
Mr. Whitmer?
I certify.
Mr. Swartzel?
Certify.
Ms. Griffin?
Certify.
Dr. Ochiltree?
I certify.
And the chair certifies. Okay, at this time, we will open the public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to hear from constituents concerning the three candidates that have applied to be appointed to the school board. The three candidates are Stephen Kyle, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time, Catherine, I'm going to mess it up. Catherine McKelvin. McElveen, okay. And I'll mess it up again, I guarantee you. And Joshua Cox. Those are the three candidates, and we will open the public hearing for folks that would like to express their support for these candidates. And Ms. Grove, I assume you have a list. And if you will start us off, then we'll go from there.
All right, so we have 12 speakers this evening. First up will be Katie McElveen. And then Deborah Burke, you'll be second.
Hi, my name is Katie McElveen, and I'm seeking the school board appointment for the Riverheads Magisterial District. Thank you for letting me address the board this evening. I've been a part of the Riverheads District for 26 years, and I'm a graduate of Riverheads High School. From there, I went on to graduate from JMU with both my bachelor's and my master's degree in teaching. While I was at JMU, I was fortunate enough to get interviews at multiple Augusta County schools. I knew that I wanted to be part of such a great school system. During that time, Augusta County schools only had about 6 openings for teachers and about 600 applicants. So I was lucky enough to secure a job at Craigsville Elementary School. Working there taught me that I could love another community like I love Riverheads. I really love my students, and I met some wonderful people there, some of whom are here to speak tonight on my behalf. After my son was born 6 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. This gave me the opportunity to start giving back to the Riverheads community, mainly through the PTA and the Little League program and leadership roles. People have been asking about my support at home and how I will be able to do my job effectively on the school board. And I think that the following story illustrates that I have a strong support system in place. 3 years after my son was born, my husband Wes and I decided to have a second child. At a routine sonogram, I learned that I had 2 rare pregnancy complications, which ultimately required me to be hospitalized for 4 weeks before giving birth 2 months early. And after my daughter was born, she had to spend about 6 weeks in the NICU. This was an extremely difficult experience for me and my family, and my parents really stepped up. They lived next door to us. My mother-in-law stepped up. My husband was wonderful, and they took care of my son during that time. And this entire experience taught me that perseverance, support systems, and community matter. What makes me uniquely qualified for the school board position is my connection to the community, the fact that I'm a recent classroom teacher, and that I have a current student within the school system. I understand what it takes to parent in today's world, which is so vastly different from my childhood. In order to provide consistency for the community, I plan to run in the November election, as well as the following election next November to run for the 4-year term. I would strive to bring the board together to build stronger relationships with the community to ensure every child in Augusta County has the support they need to succeed, whether that's through college, technical school, the workforce, or the military. Every student and every school matter. Thank you.
getting a little older. Sorry. Okay, so my name is Deborah Burke, and I teach at Craigsville Elementary School. And I'm here tonight because I believe the Augusta County School Board needs more people like you who understand that our schools are about more than policies, budgets, and meetings. They are about our children, our teachers, our families, and the communities we call home. And that is why I believe that Katie McElveen would be an excellent member of the Augusta County School Board. Katie brings something incredibly valuable to this position. She understands our schools from both sides. As a former educator, Katie understands what teachers need from their school board. She knows the dedication, preparation, challenges, and expectations that come with being responsible for the education and well-being of students every single day. But Katie is also a mother, and she understands what parents need and expect from their schools and from the people making decisions that affect their children. She knows what it means to want your child to be supported, challenged, encouraged, and given every opportunity to succeed. That combination of educator and parent gives Katie a perspective that would be incredibly valuable on the school board. But I also know Katie as a colleague, and I've had the opportunity to watch her work firsthand. From the moment Katie began her teaching career with me many years ago, she was able to hit the ground running. She was a hard worker from day one. She was willing to learn, willing to take on challenges, and when a problem came up, she didn't sit around waiting for someone else to solve it. She figured it out. Katie has also never been afraid to speak up when she believed something was right or when something needed to be addressed. She has the confidence to ask the hard questions, the courage to stand up for what she believes is the best for students, and the work ethic to actually do something about it. Those are qualities I believe we need on our school board. And if you know Katie, you also know that her commitment to this community isn't something that started because she's running for any office. Katie has been a gladiator through and through for as long as I've known her. Even when she was teaching in another community, she remained loyal to Riverheads. She continued to support our students, our schools, and our community. And when I say Katie shows up, I mean she really shows up. She volunteers, she coaches, she's involved in her child's school PTA, she supports community activities, and if there is a Riverhead sporting event, you can always count on Katie being there. She doesn't just show up when it's convenient. She'll drive miles away to watch our gladiators compete in a state championship because that's what Katie does. She supports her community, she supports its kids, and she believes they deserve to know that people are in their corner. Katie wants to see every student succeed, learn, and grow. And I believe she understands that accomplishing that takes all of us, teachers, parents, administrators, school board members, and the community working together. Most importantly, Katie is someone who will work. And she has been a problem solver and a leader since the very beginning of her teaching career. She knows how to listen, evaluate a situation, find solutions, and get the job done. And she isn't afraid to stand up and speak when something matters. That's the kind of person I want representing our community. Someone who would understand the educators, someone who understands the parents, someone who puts students first, someone who knows and loves this community, someone who isn't afraid to speak up for what is right, and someone who is willing to roll up her sleeves and work hard to make our schools and our community better. So for as long as I've known Katie, she has been someone who cares deeply about her students, her school, and her community. And I know she will bring that same loyalty, dedication, courage, and work ethic to the Augusta County School Board. So I hope that you will join me in supporting Katie McElveen. Thank you.
Up next, we will have Casey Reed, followed by Elijah Ward.
Hi, my name is Casey Reed. I am an Augusta County resident. I'm an Augusta County taxpayer and a former Augusta County public school teacher. I met Katie McElveen at Craigsville Elementary and taught with her for 5 years. And Katie is a force to be reckoned with. She is, like, I will agree with everything that Deborah told you. She comes in with her feet on the ground. She is ready to tackle any task that comes before her. She will volunteer. She will work hard for the children. She will be a very good school board member because she has been in the classroom. I taught first and second grade for 17 years, and I love the classroom, and I love the children. I loved education. Katie knows the ins and outs of what teachers and administration deal with every day, but she also has the mother side, and she wants to fight for her children and what children need and should be expected to do. And I just truly believe that she would be a strong force and be able to fight for the children, but also fight for teachers and administration and what needs to be done and, you know, their involvement, their enrichment, their safety every day for what, and the community. We laugh about gladiators and bison, and even her being in the bison district, she would remind us, I might wear black and gold today, but I really have more red. So, you know, we were always reminded of that. She's very loyal to her community. I just think she would be a huge asset, and that's about all I have to say. So if you have any questions, just ask us. We'll give you an honest answer.
If I can't get it, I'm okay, but I'm going to ask a point of order for 15 seconds to say something personal before I go to remarks not about the candidates, but that is just on behalf of the Ward family. Thanks to the school board and to the superintendent and all the staff for all your support for us for the last 2 months, 3 months. It means the world, and we'll never forget it. So I had to start with that to get that off my chest. Now
That's
I can
fine.
go with the clock if that's all right, Mr. Chairman. All right, so I'm Elijah Ward, and I'm here wearing 3 hats tonight. I am John Ward's son. I'm Elijah Ward. I'm a 1997 graduate of Riverheads, which allowed me a lot of cool opportunities that most schools wouldn't. It enabled me to get into the Virginia Military Institute on an ROTC scholarship, spent 25 years leading American sons and daughters in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Korea, and then to come back here retired as Sam Mark Ward and John Warner Ward's dad to move back into the Riverheads district. And my son, my youngest, John Warner, will tell you as he walks into Riverheads Elementary, that's my name on that plaque, as he tells any non-interested classmate of his as he walks in every day. So I have some skin in this game these days. And I know, having talked to Dad over the last few years, a lot of what you guys have had to deal with and what you've had to consider in a very trying time and a very trying environment. And so really my point tonight is just to remind you first off of what you're doing here. You're choosing someone to sit with you and to fill a space that I wish you didn't have to fill tonight, but someone who, like what I think my dad was able to do, is seeing up and out, seeing the long-term horizon, and seeing where this county and the board needs to go, not just in 2026 and 2027, but we're talking 2030 to 2040 horizons. Someone who's going to make decisions for the largest employer in the county, and someone who's going to be able to grapple with the budget that's probably larger than most of our businesses around here, and have to do that in an area and explain that to folks that the budgets that we're dealing with here are pretty significant. I think my dad was able to kind of do that because of a lifetime of seasoned experience. And I know personally, talking to him in his last few weeks as he considered this, and I tell you what, giving up the role on the school board was something he started talking about only in about the last week he had left. And then it was really breaking his heart. But he told me there's one guy that he knew was out here, and that's Steve Kyle. Someone who's been a teacher and an educator, someone who's also been in the trenches, someone who gets out there, who's very upset right now to be missing a Riverhead scrimmage, but someone who is out there in the community supporting us each and every day. You know, Steve knows what it's like, and he also knows that the school board needs to be up and out and trust, as what I learned in strategic leadership is you hire the right people and then you trust them down and in, principals, teachers, and librarians. We've got a great team here in Augusta County. They'll get those answers right. We need someone working with our board of supervisors, a little bit with our General Assembly, to make sure that we're resourced and properly set so that we can have the schools we need for the next few years. Again, I moved back here because I knew what what these schools provide. And I can tell you this, we can get very caught up in things that we hear in the news or things like that, but I'll tell you this, having led sons and daughters of Americans from across this country, I would stick that Augusta County students head to head with any one of them. I said as a military commander twice, I can't undo what 18 years of bad schools and bad parenting does. Augusta County is given a really good product right now. And so I'm urging you to look at Steve Kyle to continue doing that until the voters make a decision and kind of change, decide which direction to go come November. So thanks, board members. I know we'll be praying for you guys as you have a tough decision.
Next up, we have Ashley Schickel and David Clymore.
Good evening. I'm going to read so I can stay on time. You'll forgive me. Good evening, Chair Shiflett, members of the school board, Dr. Troxel, members of our community. My name is Ashley Schickel. I serve as the president of the Riverheads Elementary School PTA. I'm here tonight to support Katie McElveen in the interim appointment for the Riverheads district seat. Most don't know this, but professionally, I work in economic development for a planning district commission in Virginia. I work with local governments and community partners on planning, funding, long-term priorities. That experience has given me a deep appreciation for public decision-making, balancing competing priorities, and being a responsible steward of public resources. I've had the privilege to work closely with Katie through the PTA, where she serves as vice president. I've long felt that we are witnessing the very beginning of a long commitment to public service with Katie. Katie's a former elementary school teacher, a parent, and an active member of our community. She is organized, thoughtful, attentive to detail, keeps thorough records of our meetings and decision-making. She keeps me on track. She listens, asks questions, and always follows through. We saw that with the new playground at Riverheads Elementary. Katie joined the PTA 2 years ago, my first year as president. The fundraising effort for the playground had already been underway for nearly 3 years. We had approximately $45,000 in the bank. When she joined me as an officer the following year, we were determined to finish what we had started. 2 years together, we raised nearly $80,000, and within 1 year of Katie taking on that leadership role, we brought the project to completion. The result was a new playground with an 80-student capacity and includes something for students of all abilities to enjoy. The PTA ultimately contributed $90,000 towards the project, with another $70,000 contributed by the Board of Supervisors. At that time, the playground was not our only priority. The PTA continued to provide no-cost events, support our teachers and students, and fund programs that strengthen and unify our school community. That example demonstrates the kind of leadership needed on a school board, managing competing priorities, working collaboratively, following through on long-term goals, and managing limited public resources. A school board member must look beyond a single school or constituency and consider the needs of the entire division. Katie brings the classroom experience, understanding of families, and has the judgment to do that well. While I live in the Pastures District, my support for Katie comes from working alongside her and seeing her leadership firsthand. I believe she would bring valuable perspective, sound judgment, and fiscal responsibility, and a genuine commitment to Augusta County students as a whole. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. My name is David Clymore and I reside in the Riverheads District. I was a student and parent in the district as well. Several members of my family have been or are currently active in the school system in Augusta County. I am speaking tonight in support of appointing Steve Kyle to the school board. I was first introduced to Steve during my senior year at RHS way back in 1983. Steve taught and coached in the school system until he retired in 2017. We have worked together on Friday nights as volunteer statisticians since 2000. Steve understands the core priorities of our district, supporting teachers, maintaining academic standards, and ensuring safe learning environments. He brings a practical, constructive perspective that reflects the values and needs of our families. He has been very active in the community, volunteering at the Augusta County Fair each year and also helping with the Market Animal Show. He is volunteering his time at Augusta Health as well. Steve is also active in his church. Augusta County Public Schools will benefit from his leadership and commitment. I urge the board to move forward with this appointment, and thank you for your time and service to our students.
Next, we have David Hardy and Carleen Connor Keek.
Good evening, Dr. Troxel, members of the Augusta County School Board, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Hardy. I've been so fortunate to be a member of the Riverheads community for close to 40 years. Both of my daughters are Gladiator graduates, and I thank God every day that somehow we found this incredible community. I stand here tonight proud to endorse Steve Kyle as the representative for the Riverheads District for the Augusta County School Board. I've known Steve Kyle for over 30 years, and during that time, I've known him to be a dedicated teacher, coach, mentor, and servant to our most valuable resource, our children. As a coach, he has nurtured our children that games are not measured in wins and losses. They go far beyond that in developing character, sportsmanship, teamwork, responsibility, and forming lifelong relationships. How to be humble when you win and how to be gracious when you lose. Our community at Riverheads has been so blessed to have had men and women who have volunteered their time and effort for the advancement of our children, not only in the classroom, but outside it as well. You'll recognize a lot of these names: Cecil Lehman, Lynn Moore, Deanne Reed, Ed Clymore, Jim Stout, Ron and Julia Wilkerson, Larry Hull, Dennis Case, and Robert Casto. People who not only made a difference in people's lives, but in many cases, the difference in people's lives. I put Steve Kyle in this category. Steve has spent countless hours not only as a high school teacher and coach, but putting in extra time coaching youth softball, basketball, volunteering at high school games by keeping the clock and score at volleyball and basketball games. For close to 30 years, he stood on the sidelines keeping statistics for our football team, and it is done in the most professional and meticulous way possible. Steve does this without taking any credit or pay. He does this for one reason, and that is to give back to the place he loves so dearly, Riverheads. Steve has been awarded the Dennis Case Golden Gladiator Award, the Jim Stout Pioneer Award for service above and beyond the call of duty to Riverheads High School. He has been inducted into the Red Pride Athletic Hall of Fame as a coach and a contributor. And as numerous and prominent as these awards are, in my opinion, they're only half of what he deserves. Steve Kyle is a true dedicated servant. I know if elected supervisor, you will get no less than 100%, and our community and children will be the direct beneficiaries from his efforts. The biggest compliment I can pay as a parent is that when he was my daughter's coach and mentor, I never had any doubt she would be looked after and taken care of, and I had no hesitation in trusting her life with him. John Ward, as we know, was a great man and servant. I'm sure that Steve Kyle will do a great job in continuing John's legacy. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carlene Connor Keek. I'm an Augusta County resident and taxpayer. I'm here to talk to you about Joshua Cox. I met Joshua Cox a couple of years ago when he came into the headquarters where I was volunteering. He was there to collect some signs for his yard. And if you know Joshua or anything about his background, there's a history and there's a story there about Joshua communicating to the world with his front yard. I've spent several years since meeting him, talking to him about a variety of issues. We've spent hundreds of hours talking about politics and about community challenges, about the things he's passionate about and that I am too, and the struggles that our society seems to be facing, as well as some of his concerns, particularly about the community, about the school system, and life in this area, this part of the state. He's extremely bright. He's very articulate, and he's passionate beyond belief. Since he was 11 years old, he's been passionate about serving his community and serving politically as well as in the education system, serving on the school board. He's talked about that from the first day I met him. He brings a unique perspective. He's a recent graduate, so less than 5 years ago, he was a student in the system that you're all committed to serving. And he has a fresh perspective, firsthand view of the needs and the challenges that the students are facing in the community, as well as the teachers and the parents. He's a communicator. He's articulate, as I've mentioned, but he's also a podcaster. He's very adept with social media, but he also knows how to talk to people of all walks of life. I've watched him talk to independents and conservatives and liberal thinkers. I've talked to him myself, and we've had disagreements. And he's always been thoughtful and perceptive and willing to listen first, and then comes from an educated background to discuss the topics. I've watched him in his podcast talk to people in the community, and he uses those same skills. He listens as well as communicates, and he draws people out. And I think that he can bring that talent to the school board and to the community to help communicate the desires, the needs, the challenges of students, parents, community members, and bring them into this new age of communication that we have through his experience with the technology. He doesn't just sit behind a phone or behind a microphone. He goes out into the community, he goes out across the state, he goes and pursues the stories and the concerns that people have. I'm hoping that you'll open your minds and your hearts to the potential that Josh can bring to this board. Thank you.
Next, we have Steve Kyle and Gordon Johnston.
Thank you to the board and Ms. Troxel for allowing me to speak. I'm not going to take up much time. I think a lot of things have already been said that I really appreciate and I'm very humbled about what's been said. I look forward to our interview after a while, and I would very much look forward to getting to work with you all as a member of the board, school board. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Mr. Shiflett, nice to see you again. Yes, sir. To the school board. I appreciate the opportunity that I have to speak tonight on Steve Kyle's behalf. I do appreciate the opportunity. I'm not a great speaker, but I'll do the best I can. As you heard, my name is Gordon Johnston. I was an administrator here in the county for 22 years. I was 15 years at Riverheads, and in my last 7 years, I worked at Fort Defiance both as a athletic director and an assistant principal. My wife and I moved here in 1991. We came here to accept positions that we'd been offered in the school system, and as we've been here through that period of time, two of our children went through the Augusta County schools. And we now have grandchildren that are going through the school system. And we love it here in Augusta County, and we love the people here. When we first moved here, two of the people that we met at, I believe it was at a Little League baseball game, two of the very first people we met was John and Mary Ward. And then later on, got to know their children, especially Elijah and Micah and Jordan, through athletics and various other activities. And they've grown, of course, to be fine people. And John was a good man, and he will be missed. Speaking of good men, Steve Kyle and his wife, Mo, were some of the earliest people that we met here. And we got to know them through, again, the various activities. They were both teachers, and my son had Mo for a teacher in elementary school. She can probably tell you some stories about that. But at any rate, Steve, I got to know through coaching, and he kept stats, as has been said before, for the football team for 20 some years, and that sure shows that he's loyal and dependable. He's Riverheads through and through. He eats, sleeps, and drinks Riverheads. He bleeds Riverheads, and he shows his service to the community by the activities he's involved in. He does things for the school. He was actually selected to the Athletic Hall of Fame. He works with the animal show, the Market Animal Show, the 4-H kids. They come to his home and buy goats for him, and he's just really involved in the community. And he's very organized. He can plan and carry out his plans. He works well with others, as demonstrated by being assistant coach and working with committees at the organizations, Augusta County Fair and various other organizations. He's bright, intelligent, but most important, he has common sense. And I think that's something that we're sometimes short of. So I would heartily endorse Steve Kyle, and thank you for your time.
Our final two speakers are Linda Moeller and Tracy Cash.
Hello, David.
How are you, Linda?
Well, I'll be better when I can sit back down. It's good to be here. My school representative is here, Miss Griffin. Thank you so much for your awesomeness in the North River District, and that's where I'm from. I'm here today to speak on behalf of Josh Cox. I haven't known him as long as some of the people in the room, but I consider him a child of mine. I went to Lee High. Please don't hold that against me. Some people in the room might. That's okay. I hear about the blue and the red. I believe that Josh is going to bring a new perspective to this board. Most of you all are past his age. You might have children his age. Might even have grandchildren his age. I won't hold that against you. But I think you need to look beyond the fact that he may be younger than you all. But he's going to bring a new perspective that I believe, having lived in this county more years than I'd like to admit, that we need to have some new fresh perspectives on the school board. And I truly believe that Josh will bring that. I hope that you all can sit here tonight when you go back to your closed meeting and you all get to vote and you get to think and you get to maybe criticize a little bit. Maybe you can pick out some good points at each and every one of them, because I think that every one of the people that are being brought before this board have good possibilities of being on this board. But the one thing that Josh will bring, he'll bring his youth. And I think that we might need a bit of that on the board. Maybe more than just a bit. The other thing that I'd like to say about Josh is that I've seen him at these meetings. Can the other two people who are here tonight wanting to be a part of the school board say that they attend as many meetings as he has and knows the workings and the thinking of you all? I don't know, but I have seen him here. I ask you to consider that he will bring a unique and different perspective than any of you all on this board have at this time. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I have to take mine off to read. My name is Tracy Cash. I've been a resident of the Riverheads District pretty much all my life. I'm a proud graduate of Riverheads High School. My 3 children are graduates of high school, and I have 5 grandchildren that would be starting at Riverheads Elementary soon. So my connection to Riverheads and Augusta County Public Schools extends well beyond that of a parent, a grandparent, or a community member. I've been teaching in Augusta County schools for my entire career. This is my 33rd year of teaching, and 19 of those years were at Riverheads High School. Because of these experiences, I've had the privilege of seeing our schools from many different perspectives. I've witnessed firsthand the strength of our public school division, the challenges facing our educators and our students, and the qualities that are necessary for effective leadership, not only in the schools, but on our school board. I personally know all of the applicants here tonight, and I want to make it clear that I have great respect for all of them and believe that each one of them have good intentions and a sincere desire to serve our community. But I do think one of them stands out as the best candidate, and that's Katie McElveen, sorry. To me, she stands out as the clear choice. As a Riverheads graduate, Katie understands the values and the traditions of the character of the Riverheads community. As a recent former teacher, Katie has the experience and perspective necessary to advocate effectively for our students, teachers, families, and schools. The Riverheads community needs someone who will represent us with integrity while asking the important questions and researching tirelessly for the most effective solutions to the problems that we do have. Katie is without a doubt the best applicant for this job. She understands firsthand, not only as a parent, but as an educator, concerns about the use of technology, screen time, and how it affects our children. Katie wants to actively work alongside Augusta County teachers, administrators, students, and parents, not only to make a difference, but also to make Augusta County schools even more exceptional than we already are. She believes in providing a safe learning environment for our children and well-rounded opportunities that take our students beyond the classroom and provide them with skills that prepare them for the real world. She will work tirelessly to advocate for our students in the classroom, on the stage, in clubs, and on the sports field. See, it's not all about sports for Katie. She wants our children to have an abundance of opportunities that provide them with the best possible well-rounded education. Without a doubt, Katie McElveen is the right woman for the job. She's approachable, open to discussions about opportunities for our kids, and I respectfully encourage you to consider her for this position. I believe Katie would represent the Riverheads District with integrity, sound judgment, and a genuine commitment to the students and families of our community. Thank you.
I think that concludes the people that signed up to speak. So at this point, I will close the public hearing. And Mr. Swartzel?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I move the board convene in closed session for the following purposes: to discuss and interview the qualified candidates for the appointment to the vacancy at the Riverheads Magisterial District seat, and to discuss and consider assignment, promotion, demotion, dismissal, salaries, and/or resignation of Pacific School Board employees pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we convene in closed session according to Virginia Code. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will convene in closed session momentarily. And I guess everybody except the candidates is free to go. We'd kind of like for them to hang around. Okay.